I've got a Wavin underfloor heating system here, and I've got a leak from one of the blend valves here. As you can just see, it's leaking. So we'll be changing this valve today. One thing I have done is I've turned the hot water valve to off, and I will be turning the return valve, but at the moment it is seized, so I will be changing this valve as well, unless I can get it moved. The only other thing I have done is took the actuators off. To do this, you press the button on the front and it releases the two tags inside. It is quite tight, got to really press it and then pull down on the actuators and come off. So the second step that I have done, so I've covered all the electrics up with some towels just in case any water gets on top of them. I've got a hose pipe, luckily I've got a toilet underneath, so the hose pipe's going to drain the water from the top system. So you just screw a normal hose pipe fitting and push that on, and then to open the valve on the bottom of the cap, and you just turn it and that will drain any system from the top side of the pipes. So as you can see, I've now drained the system, opened the tap, all the water's come down this hose pipe and it's now stopped. And if you look at the pressure bar, so the top arrow is your pressure. You can see it's actually on 0 now, so you know there is no pressure in the system. So the next step is to disconnect the pipe. So this is the one I'm going to be changing, so I'll take this pipe off and disconnect it here from the manifold. As you can see, I've now got the blend valves removed. Now here, I did have to disconnect both the pipes. Once you've got the pipes off, disconnect the main, and then it just pulls out the brackets. It is quite tight, you do need to just get a little screwdriver and bar it out, and then gently help it down. So I've now got the blend valves on the floor, separated from the temperature gauge and the air vent. So basically do this by unscrewing, so you just turn it and it does come off, so you can see the threads, and it's the same when I split this, so I will just turn that from that one. One thing I have done is I've copied the blend position on the new one, so I know it's the same setting as it was before. Right, you can now see I've got it built back up, the new valve from the one that was leaking. One thing I did notice when I stripped it, this pipe had been leaking slightly, so I have changed the cap on the olive. And I've also put a bit of plumber's gold just around the edge, just so I don't get any leaks. Just make sure you go around the edge only, because you don't want any in the pipes contaminate the system. Right, so I've got the manifold back on, everything's tight. I've got a hose connected to the top, which is the filler, which goes down to this tap, and then I've got a drain hose on the lower one, which goes into a bucket or a sink or toilet if you've got one nearby. And you turn the tap on, so the water will run up here, through here, and then through the pipes. So first of all, you bleed the furthest away from the drain, so open the cap, and that lets water through. You see I've got pressure now flowing through. Comes down and through the drain, and I don't know if you can hear, but there's actually air coming out. So keep this running for a couple of minutes. Open it up slowly as you just let more water through, and just leave that running for a few minutes to get all the air out of the system. Once you're happy with this side, shut that off and then start on the next pipe work. So I've now disconnected all the hoses, all the taps are shut off. Whilst I was bleeding it, I left the water running on the top one, then turned this lower tap off first and then turn the tap off. Then open the return and feed and topped up the boiler. So head pressure, as you can just see, I've just got under 2. I've got 1 bar at the moment, so I will put a bit more pressure in it. The next thing is to reconnect the actuators. These will be tight because you've got to push them up so they click on over there first. So that's the next thing to do. So the next step is to test the system. So I brought the 2 thermostats down here. Turn the first one on, so I've set that up to 21 degrees, so it's now asking for the underfloor to be run. The pump is now running on the underfloor heating and the boiler is now fired up, so it's just starting to run some through. I have just set it low at the moment, set the boiler at 40 degrees. One thing to watch, so this is the water temperature, so once the water warms up you will see that going up, and then you've got your pressure and the floor water temperature coming back round, so they should increase slowly. So I'll do one channel first and then I'll swap onto the other channel of the underfloor heating, make sure I've no leaks. And that's it, everything's finished now. So leave it running for a couple of hours, just make sure you no leaks. Should have good water temperature, so you can see I've got just under 40 on the return. And I see I'm going out, so that means the system's all working and warming up fine. If you have got any radiators connected to the system, open these up fully. And just keep an eye on the pressure, make sure it's not dropping so you've no leaks. Thank you for watching and good luck fixing your system.